I see me. My camera was backwards. Hi, Jonathan. Hi, everyone. Jonathan, you're the only one here, but I'm also talking on my podcast as well. I'm about to talk about the finale of RuPaul's Drag Race. I got a cocktail, I got lipstick, I got a towel. I'm back in my bedroom. I'm in my bathroom, drinking rosé. But I'm going to talk about Drag Race finale. So if you haven't watched yet, there's going to be some spoilers. They're not going to happen for a while, but that's what's going to happen. But before I get into all that, I'm going to go through the Instagram live toots and boots from the reunion show. I know, it's really dark and it's really fruity. Those of you who aren't watching because no one's here, my rosé is really dark and it's really fruity. I don't know what kind it is. I just picked it up at the store. But it's good. And it's kind of sweet. It's not sangria, Jonathan. It is rosé. Do you want me to go get the bottle? I will report on that later. It is just a rosé. That's all I can say. Anyway, we're going to go through the Instagram poll of the Slumber Party reunion looks, and they happened last week. If you want to play along with the finale looks, they are up right now on my Insta story. Have fun. Bye, Jonathan. Anyway, the Instagram story for the finale is up on my Instagram right now. It's there for 24 hours. That's all the time that you get. And you can go vote for the looks right now. We will talk about them briefly because I have a whole Toots and Boots episode that will come up with my friend David later this week. But go vote. You have 24 hours. I put them up literally like 10 o'clock-ish. So you have until 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Saturday. I had to think what day it was. On Saturday. So we're going to start with Taliesin. She was wearing like this weird little dominatrix bunny, Dracula-esque number for the slumber party. This is nothing that you would ever sleep in. So she just said I wanted to look good. I didn't like it. I gave it a boot. But on Instagram, it was very split. It was 50-50, half and half. Half the people liked it, half of you did not. So that's the way it goes. Rock'em Sakura. Sorry, that was me hitting the drain. Rock'em Sakura wore a little angelic little nightie. She had on a blonde Marcel Wave wig. I think she looks great. I tooted this and she got a 79% toot on Instagram as well. So way to go, Rock'em Sakura. I think you look great. I really like this look. I'm going to adjust my microphone because it had fallen in my shirt. There. Now, hopefully everyone on the podcast can hear me. But that was Rock'em Sakura. Nikki Doll came out in like this Grecian gold number, which was not for a slumber party at all. Or she hadn't changed into her pajamas yet. But this is nothing that you would ever sleep in. But she looks fantastic. For the theme, I give it a boot. For the look, I give it a toot. And she did get an 89% toot on Instagram. So she looked really, really good. Aiden Zane didn't give us really a look because there were no production shots from this because it was done from people's homes, obviously. And so the only things we got were from Instagram. And so Aiden Zane is just a face shot. Her face looks really good, actually. She wore a long wig, which was beautiful. I loved that she had all of her little pussycat wigs lined up behind her to show that she does have more than one wig. They are just all the same wig. She looks okay. There's something off about her face. She does paint upwards to elongate her face a lot. But I'm not a big fan of this, and I can't remember what she was actually wearing. She's wearing a dog collar in the photo, but that's all I can see. So I'm torn because I think she looks okay, but I don't remember the rest of her outfit. So I don't know if I can toot it or boot it. I'm going to boot it because I don't know. I'm going to go with the majority. It was a 59% boot on Instagram. 59% boot for Miss Aiden Zane. Brita Filter, also only from her boobs up. This is all she wore. She had pants on and, I don't know if they were slippers or what, but she only did the top of her because that's all she was going to see. Her makeup is flawless and this wig is everything. I think she looks fantastic. I did toot this look. I realize it's not a full look, but it's a look that, this was designed by Florence to lead the shirt part of it, and I think it looks really good. And I tooted it, but she got a 56% boot on Instagram. Heidi and Closet, giving us little baby doll realness with a big bow on her head. This was very brocade kind of fabric. Hi doll, how are you? I'm just talking about RuPaul's Drag Race in my bathtub. And I'm doing it on here just so it records for me so I don't have to do a video of it. That's all. But Heidi in Closet, she got a 93% toot on Instagram, and that is correct, in my opinion. This looks a great look. It's so cute, and she looks fantastic. Her makeup was stunning. Jan, also we only got from the chest up in her picture, but she's wearing curlers. She put on the hat that she wore for the Michelle Visage runway where she was eliminated. No, not eliminated. That's the one she did not win because it was the musical episode. So that's all. It was the musical episode. She didn't win. She had her face crack of the century look printed all over her bathrobe. I thought it was adorable and cute. So I tooted this look because I thought it was fantastic for what she did. She played up on herself, and that worked for me. She did only get a 57% toot on Instagram. I don't know why, because she looks fantastic. Crystal Method, giving you the Ebenezer Scrooge realness with a candle the entire time. I tooted this look because I think it is so bizarre and weird, and it makes me smile, because Crystal Method makes me smile. She did get 81% toot on Instagram. This was a weird look, and no one expected this, and I'm glad she did it. So, way to go, Crystal. Jackie Cox. I thought she looked cute. She had a little bow in her hair. She had on her, like, kimono robe. She gets the best apartment in New York City because she has a fireplace that I believe is not working, but who knows? Maybe it does work. Maybe she's rich and wealthy like that. But she had the best background, and it was her actual apartment. I tooted this because I think she looks fantastic in it, and she did get 62% toot on Instagram. Hi, Rai. Next up is Widow Von Du. She also has a bow in her hair and also has curlers. She's hugging a little teddy bear. She's got on her robe and nightie. I think she actually looks really great. I think it's a toot. Her makeup is fantastic, but she got 56% boot on Instagram. I don't know what you people are looking at. I really think people just vote on if they like the queen or not. I try to keep that out. Sometimes it doesn't work. I realize that. It affects me as well, but it was a 56% boot on Instagram. I tooted it. Gigi Good is in, these don't, to me, they don't look like pajamas, but I guess they could be. She told the story that she wanted it to look like an 80s movie, that she was running away from the killer. Whatever. The hair looks like that. Apparently she's outside some mansion. Or they put her in this background behind her. I don't know. The actual pajamas I don't like. I booted it. This is one of those ones that people say I boot it because I don't like her. It's not. I don't like this look. I just didn't like it. Boot. But I am in the minority. She got an 81% toot on Instagram. Ryan, are you still here? Say something, Ryan, if you're still here. Hello. I guess not. All right. Last up is Jada Athens Haw, giving us the full fantasy of that runway. I don't know what it was. I don't know what runway it was from. We saw it from Courtney Act in season 6. We got it from Jada, and I think Jada made it a little more campy, which I really appreciated. She had the lashes on the face mask, the pillow behind her, this beautiful white wig. And her face looks stunning. It's a big toot. And she was our top toot of the week with 96%. Way to go, Jada. You took the theme, you ran with it, you did a little camp to it. I loved it. So way to go. Top toot of the week on Instagram. I also posted me in a little nightgown that I have. And it got 96% toot as well. Someone did boot me. I'm not going to call that person out because I've already called him out individually. But he also said that he would boot me again and again and again. So I'm questioning our friendship. Moving on to the finale. So we had our first ever digital finale. And it went pretty well, I thought. I enjoyed it very much. We had Miss RuPaul come out in another face mask. She had 2 on during the whole episode, actually. I hate that you can see my lips inside. That's what happens when you wear crazy lips like this. But RuPaul wore a face mask. This one is covered in silver beading dots. I'm not sure what it is, but it is clear that she will take every opportunity that she can to not be in drag if she doesn't have to be, because she hates doing drag. And she only does it when she gets paid, which she is getting paid for this, but, you know, there are circumstances right now going on that she can't have a makeup crew and hair crew there to do her up. So she's going to say, oh, I can't have it, so I'm just going to come as Man RuPaul. She looks like Zorro in this hat, and with this mask on. It's just crazy, and some kind of weird black schmata top. I don't hate it, but I miss RuPaul in drag. That's all I'm going to say. So we got to talk to all the top three girls. Crystal Method and Ru had a conversation, and we got a video from Crystal's parents, and the only thing I remember from it is Crystal's mother's boobs, because they were put so front and center that it was just crazy. It was crazy what they did with it. They were just pushed up and tight. Ooh, they were tight. And then we saw her grandmother, and her boobs were pushed up too. It runs in the family. Ru even commented on it, which was really funny. I had some sound issues on my watching of it. I don't know if anyone else did. But so some of it got chopped out. They did not do, at least I didn't see it, talking to your younger self with Crystal. I don't know why, other than I think they didn't think she was going to be part of the final lip sync. She was going to be third place in their minds, and then extenuating circumstances happened, but we'll talk about that later. Next, we're talking to Gigi Good. Gigi's Goods went on forever for me. It was really, really long. But she did talk to her younger self, and she made herself cry, which I think is all they really want, because she needed to show vulnerability and sadness, because we all believe she really is a robot, because she's a little too perfect in things. When she wasn't perfect, it was almost like meanness or bitterness from her rather than something's not working. So I did not enjoy it. I'm not a Gigi fan. I'm not going to deny that. I know she has talent. I think she's a great drag race girl. I'm not sure she's a great drag queen. Although my opinion did change for one thing that we'll talk about when we talk about the lip syncs. Finally, we talked to Jada. And we talked to Jada for a while as well. She definitely talked to Gigi and Jada longer than she talked to Crystal. Again, Jada got the talk to your younger self. We got video footage from Jada's brother and father, who were at the premiere that Jada won the challenge on. So that was all good. It made Jada cry a little as well, so we got some vulnerability from her as well, which is what the show loves. They love to make people cry. And so that's what we did. Did I learn anything new from this? No. Other than Crystal's mother's boobs, which were fantastically placed. That's all I got from these interviews. But I enjoyed them. I enjoyed them nonetheless. Moving on, we had our first lip sync to RuPaul's new song. Was it new? I don't know. Bring Back My Girls. We've been hearing it for a long time. It gets stuck in my head. I don't love the song, but I can't stop singing it because it is catchy. And it was the close-up lip sync, so we could actually see their lips. And I think they were fine. They did what they could. They couldn't move around because they had to be on the screen. Gigi made the craziest faces, so maybe she won for that reason. I don't know. I mean, she stood out for that reason. And she was also in the middle, so your eyes kind of drawn to that rather than looking to the sides. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because the song is just so catchy that I really, really liked it. That's all. And then we get individual lip syncs that they created in their homes. And they got to build a set if they wanted to. They got to do whatever song they wanted to, which I didn't write down. So I'm not going to remember what they were. But Crystal Method, when they showed them working, you saw Gigi making like this backdrop, and she said it was going to be reminiscent of the music video for the song. I kind of figured out what it was from just looking at that, and it did come true, so good for me. But I'm old, and I'm from the 80s, and so that is why I knew what it was. All of you younger kids out there probably had no idea. Crystal, you saw her like hammering feathers together, and you're just like, yeah, makes sense. And then Jada, I can't remember what Jada was doing, and then when I saw the video, I knew why I couldn't remember what it was. But Crystal was up first. She did this funny little song that you would never expected, but she is fully dressed. It's like a puppet stage that she created, and she is a bird puppet, a mama bird, and she has an egg. And then the egg hatches, and she's the baby bird and the mama bird. And at one point, she even spits food into the baby bird's mouth. I had no idea what to expect from Crystal, and what I got was everything I wanted to, because I thought it was completely bananas, and I loved every moment of it. It was so funny and so entertaining to me. I will say, in her interview, she said she wanted to push the boundaries of drag because she would like people to look at her and wonder if she's actually doing drag or not, because that's what drag means to her. And I appreciate that, because there are so many different forms of drag, and there are times this season where I was like, her outfits, I was like, I don't know if it's really drag, and that's what she wants to do, and I applaud that. So this bird thing was cuckoo bananas, and I lived for it. I thought she did a great job with it, because they were told to be creative, and that was creative to me. I have to take a sip of my rosé. Next up is Gigi Good. She's doing Take On Me, a song from the 80s. She painted the backdrop. She made it look like she was doing it herself. I'm not sure she did, but if she did, great, because she did a great job. What I'm going to talk about is her outfit. It was so cool. It was white with this black writing all over it. It was like a crop leather jacket and leather pants. And then at one point she jumped and it all turned to black with white writing. And the white was the cardboard, just like in the video. Oh my God, it was so good. It made me really, really appreciate her drag a lot more. And I hope that she came up with this idea on her own and that she didn't get help from anyone. Because I want to believe that she did it herself. And if she did, bravo to you. You won this lip sync challenge, in my opinion. And that's saying a lot, because I don't like her. Not that I don't like her. I don't appreciate her drag all that much. But what she did was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it a lot. And then we got Jada doing a Ciara song. Ciara, I don't know how to pronounce it. And she literally started on her couch in a robe. So you knew that the robe was going to come off. She had on a bodysuit underneath it. She did not wear her breastplate this time, which might be the first time she's never worn it on the show. And it was kind of boring. She put no effort into the creativity side of it. And going off the three of them, she was the worst, in my opinion. And should not have made it to the final lip sync. But this is where we go into producer heads. And going into this season, I picked Sherry Pie to win the whole thing from the very beginning. Once she was eliminated, I picked Jada to win. And so I'm not disappointed that she ultimately did win. Spoiler alert, she did win the season. But based on this lip sync, she shouldn't have made it to the top two. It was so boring and so unimaginative that it was just terrible. But I think in the producer's mind, this happened season 10. I think that's when Aquaria won. I went to the finale taping and they did their two lip syncs, and the first ones were Asia and Cameron, and Asia had the butterfly incident, and so she didn't win the lip sync, and Cameron did. And I don't think that's what was planned, but they had no choice but to let Cameron win because Asia's was a disaster. And so Cameron won, and then the next ones came out, and it was Aquaria and Eureka, and the lip sync happened. In the first 10 seconds, Aquaria fell. You didn't see that on camera, but she did fall. They did not show her falling. And at the end of it, the entire crowd was chanting Eureka. And then we took a 20-minute break for the producers to figure out what to do. Because if you really went by the lip syncs, it would have been Cameron and Eureka, and I think that was not the way the show was supposed to play out. I think it was literally supposed to be Aquaria and Asia in the final lip sync, but we already had Asia not there, and now we're not going to have Aquaria there? What? We can't let... Cameron couldn't win, because she... I mean, let's be real, she wasn't very good. We're not sure why she was even in the top 4. But Eureka was a little problematic at the time, so we kind of knew she wasn't going to win. So they let all 3 of them lip sync for the finale, and Aquaria did win the final lip sync. So that made sense. The whole crowd was chanting Aquaria after the final lip sync anyway. So that's kind of what I think happened this time around, because they didn't think Crystal was going to make it to the top 2. And if Jada had done something different, she might not have been. But because Jada's was so bad, they had to put... It would have been Gigi and Crystal. And that was not supposed to be the winner of the season. In my opinion. Either of them. And so they're like, oh shit, what are we going to do? We got to put all 3 of them in there. And then let's give them a Destiny's Child song to sing. That'll work. Yeah, the song totally favored Jada. It was not lost on, I don't think, anyone. Jada, I mean, first of all, Crystal came out in this outfit that was so crazy. And I kind of loved it. I think she didn't think she was going to be there either. I don't know if it was like a last minute thing. They're like, okay, you got to lip sync now. And she's like, oh, okay, great. To a Destiny's Child song? Sure. Why not? She did fine, but, I mean, it was like she was not prepared for it. Gigi came out as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. Not sure why. And Jada came out in this orange... Was it orange? Yeah, I think it was orange. Giant cape, which you knew was going to be a reveal at some point, whenever it happened. Jada did her reveal and had on this sexy, sexy bodysuit underneath. Gigi did a reveal that if you weren't watching, you might not have noticed it, because it was almost the exact same dress, but it flipped inside out and she had puffy sleeves. What you should have noticed was, though, that she ripped off her thigh-high boots and had on ruby slippers and socks underneath it. And she did something with her... I didn't notice her wig. So they said her wig changed, and I didn't notice that at all. So when I watch it again, I will look out for that. But the reveals were not... If you're going to do a reveal... It needs to be a memorable reveal. Like, Christian was sitting there and he didn't even notice Gigi's dress change. That's how exciting it was. I mean, JJ's you knew, because you could see she's wearing a giant cape. She's not going to wear that the whole time. So you knew that was going to happen. And you knew it was going to be something sexy underneath. So yeah, the reveals, if you're going to do a reveal, it has to mean something and make sense. These were very uneventful. And so in my mind, unnecessary. Crystal didn't reveal. She didn't need to. She was wearing everything she owned on that dress. But when it all comes down to it, our winner is Jada Athens Haw. Am I sad? No, not at all. If you listened to last week, I said, I want Crystal to win. I think Jada should win, but I think Gigi will win. I covered all my bases, basically, but that's how I felt. That's how I felt. I wouldn't have been sad with any of them winning. I would have been a little disappointed if Gigi won, just because, again, I don't appreciate her as a drag queen. I think she's a great drag race queen, but not a great drag queen. Although my mind did change a little with her second lip sync of the night, because I thought she did great at it. And if that's the kind of show she's going to do, I would go see that. So I hope that is what she's going to do. Well, no, who knows? So we have a new winner, Jada Athens Haw. I'm not sad about it. I kind of figured it would be her, honestly, because she's not great television. The other two queens they can have back on an All-Stars, whereas Gigi's drag doesn't excite me. She's certainly a fan favorite. Her costumes, I'm going to call them costumes, not fashion, were exceptional, and they lived for them on the show. And Crystal Method is just kooky and fun and the fan favorite of the season. So those are two obvious choices to have her back for All-Stars. Jada Athens Haw is a stunning, stunning drag queen, but I think we got her whole story. There's nothing left to tell of her story, and so that is another reason I think that she was the winner of this season, because her story was over. It was a good story, and we all lived it, and I'm happy for her. We also got the crowning of our new Miss Congeniality, and I think we all knew that this was going to go to the one and only Heidi N. Closet, who fully deserved Miss Congeniality. I will say it again. I said it from the Meet the Queens videos. Her Meet the Queens video is the only one that made me laugh. I immediately fell in love with her, and I thought she was fantastic, and I think she is a great queen. I can't wait to see her back. She will definitely be on an All-Stars because everyone loves her. And I am all for it. I can't wait to see how her drag changes. Her makeup has gotten stunning. So we know that she's improving on that. So come on, girl. She did talk about that she wants to either move to LA or New York City. Of course, I would love to have her in New York City because then I could see her more often when she performed. When we get to go out again, of course. And, but wherever she goes, I would go see her show because she entertains me very, very much. So congratulations to her. We also got a little cameo from Dolly Parton. And she said that she is really Leslie Jones in drag. And that made me giggle and giggle and giggle. It was so, so funny. But shout out to Dolly Parton for showing up for this. Maybe that means she's going to be a judge on season 13. I keep waiting for her to be a judge on there. They really need to have her on there. I don't know what's holding it up. Let's talk about these looks from the beginning of the episode when we got to introduce to every queen. Taliesin is wearing a green funky bodysuit and green hair with a lot of clips in it, and I don't like it. I boot it. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I'm not going to toot and boot every look because, again, like I said, there will be a toot and boot session coming up, but I did not like this look. Yeah, I didn't like it. I did like that she's on her roof in Brooklyn. Rock'em Sakura is wearing the funkiest dress I have ever seen. I don't like the fit of it because I think it makes her look really big. And she's not that big. She's a thicker girl because she pads really heavy, but this makes her look really big. And she got some juicy thighs anyway from all of her weightlifting. I love the bow on the back of this. It looks like they're little anime cards stuck to her. I don't know. I don't know anime at all, so I'm the wrong person. But I think this is cute. I really like it. I just like rock, really. I can't say anything bad about her. Nikki Doll is giving us kind of Paul Revere Frenchness. It had a little reveal right at the beginning. She's got some seafoam green hair. It's okay. Yeah, I don't dislike it. Aiden Zane might be my favorite of the week. I think she looks fantastic. Her makeup doesn't bother me with this. She's got on a good wig. It's styled really well. She's got this fantastic dress on that's just so interesting. It's kind of peach and black, half and half. It's really an interesting dress. It has some bands on it that are holding it together, like around the belt, but then there's also one around the legs. This great fan behind her. Yeah, I really liked it. I can't say much more about it than I really, really liked it. Next up is Britta Filter, and she is giving us a gown, and she brought back the cones because she had the cone dress on that didn't really fit her in the season, and now she is showing you what it should have looked like. I think this looks great. I mean, it's a typical Britta gown. The mermaid look, accentuating the hips, accentuating down the bottom. This wig and hair, must be the only ones she has with her in Maine. I know she did take her drag with her. And they sent her cosmetics to do her makeup, but she must have this one wig, but it's a good one. So I like this. Jan gave us Edward Scissorhands. I wasn't a fan. I think the makeup is interesting with the grayscale and the white eyes that she has. But I don't love the whole look altogether. The Widow Von Du, giving us an actual widow. I loved that her spider legs moved on their own. So that was a plus. The actual look, I'm not a huge fan of. I don't like the spiders glued to her face. There's no wig. And the material looks cheap. That's my biggest problem with it. Heidi in Closet loves to give us crazy eyes. And she did again. This gown, I think, is gorgeous. I think it looks really good on her body. I think her makeup looks good. The pink is a little bright, but not terrible. She got on her pageant hair. The gown is gorgeous. Yeah, that's all. She looks good. Jackie Cox, also another one of my favorites. I think she looks regal and beautiful in this. It's really, really suits her body. She's also on her roof in Manhattan here. And it's very, almost like Hello Dolly-esque, a little bit, with the hat and this gown. If she was in red and had big feathers coming off of her, she could be in Hello Dolly. But I think she looks great. Crystal Method came out as a piñata. And what can you say about that? But good for you. I think she looks crazy, and I think she intended to look crazy. But she is a full-on donkey piñata that farted in her video, and confetti blew out of her butt. So props to you, mama. Gigi Good came out in this ruched cone dress, another cone dress, with a giant, I want to call it a helmet, because, you know, she likes the helmet on her head, and then she revealed the helmet and had a giant beehive underneath it. Beehive hairdo, not an actual beehive. It's okay. I don't love all the ruching on it, and that's my biggest problem with it. Jada Athens Haw, you couldn't really see her gown because you were so mesmerized by this headpiece that she's wearing. She's also not wearing a wig. But she's wearing a stunning headpiece. It is like the solar system going around her, and she looks fantastic. I think it's a really, really good look. And that is all the looks that I have. That's all I'm going to talk about for today, because I am going to have my Toots and Boots with David, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. But we have All Stars 5 starting next Friday. I hope you're all excited for it. I am looking forward to it because I love almost every queen that is going to be on the season. And we get Ricky Martin on the first episode. Not too bad. I do love me some Ricky Martin. We're going to have a special Toots and Boots on Insta story this week. So go vote right now in the Insta story that's going on right now at Sashay Away with Barry. And vote for the finale looks that I just talked about. There'll be a Toots and Boots with David, like I said. And then later in the week, there's going to be another Toots and Boots that Peter and I do for all of Miss RuPaul's looks. And there will be an Insta poll coming up on Tuesday, maybe Monday. No, I think Tuesday. Well, Monday or look on Monday. If it's not there, it'll be on Tuesday. But one of those days, there will be an Instagram poll for all of RuPaul's looks, including her 2 mask looks, because I just want to throw them in because I think they're crazy. And so you can vote on those, and you get to toot and boot RuPaul. How fun is that? But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Whichever way you're doing it, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on the podcast, either way, thanks for tuning in. That was season 12. We made it to the end, all through the scandals and coronavirus and all of the social distancing, the last 2 episodes that we did remotely. I think it turned out to be a great season. I had a good time. I really liked it. And that is all I have to say. Thank you all. I love you. Goodbye.